You can't improve what you can't measure. I'll say that again. You cannot improve what you cannot measure. Welcome to Wellbeing Toolkit. This is the 7th and final lecture in this productivity tools course. If you're following me from the beginning, please let me know in the comments below what did you take away from this course and how can I improve it. If this is your first time, then welcome, and I strongly recommend watching the other videos first. As we discussed in the basic lecture in this productivity tools course, we said that productivity is a habit to be created. And in that journey, you have habits to create, things like writing information or tasks you do and not holding them in your brain. A habit like processing inbox and turn it clean. Or a habit like using a to-do list manager to sort out or organize your tasks. Or the habit of using a calendar to better manage your time. Or a habit like using a mind map to be an effective thinker and reach out to better solutions for your problems. And if you came up to me and said you want to improve your processing inbox habit, for example, I'm going to ask you the question of how many emails do you have right now in your inbox? And how many you'd like to have in your inbox? Or how many emails do you process every day? And how many you want to process every day? Same with the usage of the to-do list or the calendar or even the mind maps. It is essential and crucial in your productivity journey to have something to track that habit. So let's get to the mind map and explore this toolkit, shall we? In the introduction, we mentioned the importance of having a tracking tool, a tool with which you can track your progress in the productivity habits. And that's the purpose of this habits tracking toolkit. It is to track the usage or the implementation of any habit that is related to productivity or anything else, and to analyze that progress so you can either improve or course correct if needed. With this toolkit, you'll have the benefit of following up the productivity habit and the other habits you want to improve, like being more fit, exercising more, practicing mindfulness, anything else. So this toolkit can apply to the productivity and non-related productivity habits. And with having the purpose in mind, which is tracking the usage and analyzing your progress, comes the specific criteria for this toolkit. Personally, I recommend having the week and the month, because I usually recommend having a minimum of 1 habit to work on in a year and a maximum of 3 habits to work in a year. This gives you like 3 or 4 months per habit to develop and make it under cruise control so you can add new habits to that one. That's why the 2 most important units for me are the week and the month. You should be able to view your progress each week, each day of the week, and throughout the month, so you can have your net score in a month. The second specific criteria is to be able to insert comments. Now, there are lots of the tools I found in this area where you can't include any comments. And the reason why comments are so important is that you want to be able to know why you were successful in implementing the habit in each week or in that month. And you want to be able to know why you weren't successful, because only then you can identify and come up with corrective actions to implement in the future. Without comments, you're only viewing checked and unchecked boxes in that week or a month. And with time, you forget why you were successful in those days and why you weren't successful in the other days. And without knowing why, or without knowing the reason why you failed to implement that habit in those days, you can't come up with the corrective actions. You can't work on it. It's just like a checking competition. And that's not the only purpose of this toolkit. The other purpose is to analyze your progress so you can be able to improve on it or correct. So let's see some of the tools that I recommend in this area. We'll have 2 major components here, the physical and the digital ones. So let's start with the physical ones. So in the physical, we have 3 tools, the pen and papers and the Wellbeing habit tracker and the DIY. Starting with the pen and paper, it is cheap, personalized, easy to make and use, and there are already a few forms or notepads that are designed to track your habits. I will leave a link to one example in the description below. The second tool in the physical one is the Wellbeing habit tracker. This is something that I created myself, and I created 2 templates for you to use, one for the 1 habit and one for 3 habits. This is my personal recommendations when working on a habit. You should have between 1 to 3 habits in a given year. You should be mindful about the habits you're creating. It's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. So with one habit, you have extra time, you have more than enough time to work on it. And with 3 habits, you still have 3 to 4 months to work in each habit and make it under cruise control before adding new ones to it. I'll leave the link for both templates in the description below. The third one is the DIY, or do it yourself. Now, combining what you've learned from the pen and paper and the Wellbeing Toolkit tracker that I'll leave in the description below, you can design your own habit tracking method or tool. Just have the what is the habit you're trying to track. Give yourself the opportunity to check yes or no. Give yourself the opportunity to write comments whenever needed. And from personal experience, you'll find yourself having comments even for the days that you actually did or managed to successfully have the habit that day. You'll find yourself documenting something that made you do that habit or something that reminded you of doing that habit. Also, I prefer to have a column or a space for the corrective actions for the days that you weren't successful in having that habit or implementing that habit. Also, you should have the date of starting that habit. In the digital area, we also have 3 tools. Starting with the least recommended tool is the DIY, or do it yourself. Same with the pen and paper, or same with the physical one, you can still create your habit tracking digitally, like using Excel or Word. I personally prefer Excel if you want to go in that direction, because Excel gives you the opportunity to insert calculations or equations that can automatically progress or calculate your progress in a given week and month. If you're using Word, my recommendation is to design the thing in the Word and then print it so you can use it physically. I think using the printed version of the Word design is more effective than using the Word itself to track your progress. But this is your choice to make. Moving up a level, we have the Loop Tracker app. This is a good app. I personally used it a couple of years ago. It gives you the opportunity to check your progress in a week and a month, and gives you the net progress of that month. And it also gives you the maximum consistent you were in implementing that habit. The only disadvantage here is not having the comments option. So you can't insert comments for the days you couldn't implement that habit. And like I said, personally, I found this annoying, but for most people I interacted with, they didn't find any problem with that. So again, it's your choice to make. On the other hand, the best tool I recommend for habit tracking is the Habit Tracker app. This one has the same features as the Loop Tracker one, but this one has the ability to insert comments. So now, when I cross or have an X for the day that I didn't implement the habit, I can insert the comment like, I was sleepy, I was busy, I forgot, I got interrupted, or maybe I had an emergency. There you have it. 3 physical and 3 digital tools in the habit tracking toolkit that you can explore, choose, and start using today. I hope you guys enjoyed this lecture and this course. Please let me know in the comments below, what did you take away from this course and how can I improve it in the future? See you next week with another tool, and until we meet, keep upgrading.